Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty with Allison Maloney. Staying in Eastern Europe, the war now in its 44th day, the UN voting to suspend Russia from its human rights body yesterday as allegations of war crimes continue to mount against Russian invaders. And breaking this morning, we are continuing to monitor this story. Dozens of innocent civilians killed and at least 300 injured in a Russian missile strike at a railroad station in eastern Ukraine.
For more, let's bring back Ukrainian Member of Parliament Kira Rudik. Kira, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us what you're hearing about what just happened?
Hello, thank you so much for having me. So yes, we have confirmed that there was an airstrike on Kramatorsk train station, and we have confirmed right now more than 40 people killed and at least 100 injured. To explain why it happened today, after we have seen all the hordes of Russians' action in Bucha, European and outskirts of Kiev, we as a government, we informed and advised people from the eastern regions where the Russian army is heading to evacuate immediately. So there are many, many people evacuating from those regions, and they're evacuating by trains, by buses, and obviously the train stations are super packed. So one of these train stations that was packed with the people who plan to become refugees was hit by the Russian missile. And they knew what they were hitting, and they knew that it is a civilian object, and they knew that we informed Ukrainians that they need to evacuate from those regions. So it was intentional. It was attacking civilians. It was another war crime that Russia is committing.
Okay, Kira, we're in the United States here. We're in New York. This is the Western media. We know that Vladimir Putin, former KGB, he doesn't want the West to continue to cover the war in Ukraine, because the second that the West stops covering the war, it doesn't become top of mind for people in Western countries, people here in the U.S., NATO. It makes perfect sense. Why would he do something like this? Why would he continue to kill innocent people for no reason?
He's going according to his plan, and the things that happen in Western world does not really bother him. Let me give you an example of what happened over the months. In a month, European countries have paid for Russian gas and oil $35 billion. The aid that Ukraine received from European countries is less than $1 billion. So when being paid by the same countries that are condemning him $1 billion a day, do you think Putin really cares what's going on the television? If the actions are still not there.
Right.
Yeah, Kira, the U.S., we keep putting these sanctions in place, but they're not working, because we saw just what the military did this morning. It's those innocent people. What is it that you need right now from NATO, from the United States, to end this war, for you to win, to take back Ukraine?
So on the day 43 of the war, we need exactly the same things that on the day 1 that we did not receive. We need heavy weaponry, and we need sanctions. Heavy weaponry, we need jets, fighter jets, so we can actually fight Russian planes in the air. And we need anti-air force protection systems. This is something that we did not get. And this is something that could protect our homes, our train stations from the missiles like that. Like in Israel, the Iron Dome. So we need something like this, and we never got it. So 40 days passed. What we have got is the suspension from the United Nations for Russia. And second is sanctions. And the issue with sanctions, they need to be united. So it cannot be that some countries are saying no to Russian oil, no to Russian gas, and we are grateful for that. And the others are saying, yeah, you know what, and keep feeding the tyrant. Every single dollar that is going to Russia right now just allows us to continue to committing all those crimes and creating the horrors and destruction in Ukraine. It's not just like some miracle transfer of money. It's very direct. You pay money to Russia, Putin pays money to his soldiers. Soldiers are continue fighting in Ukraine, killing, raping, destroying. Very simple. This is what we are explaining to all NATO countries. We are explaining it to members of parliament in the whole world. Yeah. And people are still hesitating to put the strict sanctions on Russia, and we are still not receiving the weapon that we need. So how are we supposed to fight him back? We are still doing miracles of fighting without the weapons that we need.
Yeah, you are. Kira Rudik, thank you so much for joining us.
We hear you,
Kira.
We hear you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. That's Kira Rudik joining us, a
you.
member of the Ukrainian parliament there. She makes a good point. Every time we, a NATO country, Germany, they get 40% of their energy from Russia. Yeah. So that's you could argue that's helping to fund the war.
Right, right. Let's go. We want to now go to Newsmax correspondent Sarah Williamson. She is live in Lviv with the very latest details, images coming out of this horrific attack on innocent civilians at that railway station in eastern Ukraine. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Alison. That's right. As Russia turns its offensive to the east of Ukraine, that's right. As it turns it to the east of Ukraine, rather, at least 39 people have been killed, including 4 children this morning, and at least another 300 have been injured when Russian forces struck that railway station this morning in Kramatorsk as people were trying to evacuate the area. Those chilling images that you've seen have already emerged. This one in particular showing the moments after the attack.
Димка, трупов на вокзале, насколько, прикинь, дети, блядь. Давай, валим, валим.
According to local authorities, there were thousands of people there at the time of this blast. And this rocket right here that landed on the site had the words children written on it in Russian. Now, Kramatorsk is in the Donetsk Oblast, in which the Ukrainian forces will face a large-scale offensive from the Russians and is urging residents to evacuate. Ukrainian President Zelensky says that Russia is evil and has no limits after that deadly attack, adding that Russia is, if they're not punished, will never, ever stop. Now, the governor of the Luhansk Oblast is also warning that Russian forces have finished their preparations for the Battle of the Donbas and are constantly trying to break through Ukraine's line of defense in the east of the country. So now, because of this, today 10 humanitarian corridors are set to open and in the Luhansk region and in Mariupol as well, so civilians can escape from these areas that have already been subjected to intense bombardment and prepare for what is still to come. Alison.
All right, Sarah Williamson, thank you so much for that report.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.